Hey, what's up everybody? Time for another video. This video is going to be on the TD-H3. Um, I have been waiting for a TD-H3 from TIDRADIO for over 3 weeks. They keep saying they're going to send one when one's available, but what do you know? They're available all over the place. So I have three different ones here, and we're going to look at all three of them. But none of these were sent to me by TIDRADIO. I bought them with my own money. That doesn't really change the way I review radios anyway. I know some people, get a little bit cautious when radio companies send out radios, but it doesn't change the way I review them. I review them the same whether I buy them or they send them to me, and nobody gets to review the video before it gets posted or anything like that. What I test is what I test, and that's just the way that I do it. So these are all purchased with my own money anyway, so no sponsorship or anything with this video. So I guess the first thing that I want to say is let's just switch over here. I think that this radio is actually a pretty amazing little radio. I love the size. It feels good in my hand. It's a little bit small for me, but honestly, it feels solid. I think that's the biggest thing. Um, it's a decent. You feel like you got a hold of something here with this radio. It feels well built. It's got a great display. The display looks really good, and the feature set in these radios are phenomenal. Um, when you think about the fact that this is a sub $40 radio, I think this could be the new standard for a sub $40 HT. Um, there's just some concerns that I have with this radio, and we'll address those when we head over to the bench. But like I say, there's a lot of good things here. One of the things I think that is really, really kind of neat about this radio is that you can program it in multiple ways. The radio has a USB-C port right on the side. You can program the radio through that port. You can also program the radio through your standard programming cable. I use my, what is it here? My Merkit universal cable here. And this works great also. So you can program it that way, and you can also program it with the ODMaster software with your cell phone. So, over Bluetooth, USB-C, or your standard USB headphone jack, microphone programming cable, all work with CHIRP. Well, the USB-C and the microphone cable work with CHIRP, and then ODMaster over Bluetooth. So I really like that. There's also a USB-C right on the battery, which I think is another great feature, because you can charge the radio with the USB-C right on the bottom of the radio, or you can, let me just plug in a cable here and just show you. I really like the fact that you plug it in and it has a charging light right on the battery. And you can see this one's a little bit depleted because I've been using the radio. Let's look at one of these other ones here that I probably have not. There, that one's, see, nice green light for when it's charged, red when it's charging. And the battery can be off the radio or on the radio. It doesn't matter. That makes it really nice. And I will show you too when we head over to the bench. Two of these radios came in a 2-radio pack, and I'll show you everything that comes in that pack. It's really a great deal. Drop-in desk charger, which is also USB-C on the back of it, and a few other accessories. So I can demo here real quick the programming. So what we'll do here is we'll start off by just plugging into USB-C on the side of the radio. And maybe you heard the radio give the USB beep. I will turn on my CHIRP software here. Oh, gotta not hide behind it. Okay, so we are connected here USB-C on the side, and we just come over here. We say radio, download from radio, and I already selected this earlier, but you can see we are on COM9 for the that's where my USB-C cable is showing up. You select manufacturer, TID radio, and model. Now I'm on the ham setting on the radio right now. There's a key sequence that you can issue that will switch the radio between ham, GMRS, and kind of, they call it all, basically just open radio. So I have all three of these set to the ham setting. So you have to select ham here, otherwise it will not read the radio properly. So you just say okay, and you honestly don't need to worry about this when you're hooked up with USB-C. You can just say okay, and in comes the radio. Now this was just a reset. This was just a reset of the radio, so it's got their default frequencies in there. But as you can see, you've got the settings for the radio. You can set up your defaults here for what you want for your step size for both the A and B VFOs. Whether you want it to beep, the menu to beep, whether you want a Roger beep, which of course you don't. And then what you want your short side function key to do. I've got mine set for short key for the lamp or the flashlight, and long press takes me to weather. And then you can have your power on message. Of course, we've got a nice message here on our radios that say, please subscribe. So it's just that easy. You can go in and set all of your other settings for your A and B VFOs. You can also set default FM channels for the FM receiver, broadcast receiver for FM radio. And you can set up DTMF presets that you can send with just the press of a key. So really, really like the fact that you can just hook up with USB-C right into the radio, and you can just say, upload to the radio. And once again, I could probably say don't prompt for this again, and it just goes right through, no problem over USB-C. So now I'll just show you real quick. I'll take the USB-C cable out, and I will switch to my Merkit all-in-one programming cable, which is nice because this is an FTDI chipped cable and you don't have to worry about drivers. So you plug that in, and now we can just plug in here to the side of the radio like we would. So if you have one of these cables, you can now basically do the same thing. We're going to say download from the radio, and now we need to pick our COM port for our FTDI cable, and everything else is the same. And now you can see we're programming or reading the radio through our normal USB programming cable that you might already have, and all the same settings. And just for the heck of it, we'll upload it back to the radio. Just that easy. Might take a little bit longer with the with that cable than with the USB-C. So there's a good example there of using a cable you may already have if you don't have a USB-C, but that's becoming a standard nowadays. So that's the beauty of it, is you have a USB-C for any of your other devices, your cell phone, etc. So and then I'll just show you real quick here inside of our ODMaster software. All right, so here we have the ODMaster software. What you need to do is enable Bluetooth on the radio, and you do that by pushing and holding the blue button that says BT on it. If you push and hold that down, you will see that you get a Bluetooth icon over here on the right. Now Bluetooth is enabled on here on the radio. You say connect via Bluetooth. You look for your radio to show up, and here we have the radio. So you say connect, and now here we are. We're connected to the radio with our ODMaster software. We say select model, TIDRADIO, TD-H3 ham, and then read. And as you can see here, the radio is saying Bluetooth program. It's reading. You can see the progress happening here on the phone. And there we go. Now we have the radio in the phone. You can go through and program your memories. And, we went through some of this when we were looking at the ODMaster software in the past. So I'm not going to go through that right now. But you can set all of the same functions and everything for the radio right here on your phone. Most importantly, the please subscribe message right here that we have on our power on screen. And so there you go. And then from here now, once again, I'm not going to go into the ODMaster software here, but this is where you can go to the repeater list, and you can select repeaters in your area and just say, click, 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 select several repeaters and bring them into your radio. And then all you end up doing is hit write. And now you can see we are writing back to the memory in the radio. So this very, very, very convenient. And like I say, just the fact that you can program this radio in any of these ways is kind of amazing. So that covers the ODMaster Bluetooth programming. And I'm going to show you one other feature here. I'm not going to dive into a whole lot of the other features on this radio before we head over to the bench. But this is something I haven't seen a lot of people talking about. Let me just grab a good standby Baofeng here. UV5R. Now you'll note here, I'm just gonna put in a random frequency. Just random. Let's put in a CTCSS tone. Transmit CTCSS. All right, we'll put in, how about, here, we'll just put in something random, 69.3. All right, so now this is kind of, like I say, this is something I haven't seen too many people talking about. Now hopefully I can get this here on the camera. But if you push and hold the number 1 key on the TD-H3, it goes into scan frequency. And now watch, here, let me see here. If you watch, if I transmit with the Baofeng, the TD-H3 found 147.23 and a CTCSS, it's reporting it as 69.2. I can, 69.3 was what the radio set at. Let's just see here. We'll pick a different, how about 100 hertz. So I can say reset here on the TD-H3. And then if I transmit, it found 147.23 with a CTCSS of 100. And then you can store that right into your radio. So that's something that I haven't seen a whole lot of people talking about. Just a neat little thing. Once again, another random feature that's available in the TD-H3. So I think at this point in time, let's head over to the bench, and I will kind of, first I'll show you what comes in the dual radio set, and then we'll address, I think, the elephant in the room with the TD-H3. So I'll meet you over at the bench. All right, so what we have here is everything that comes in the dual radio kit, which, like I say, is I think actually a pretty good deal. You get the 2 radios, you get of course the 2 batteries, and they are labeled as 2,500 milliamp hours. And I will show you the battery analysis at the end of the video, but I'll tell you right now, they hit the mark on the battery, which, if you guys recall from some of my more recent videos, I just was confused as to why radio manufacturers put erroneous labels on their batteries, but these are actually accurate. So you get 2 2,500 milliamp hour batteries, the 2 radios. You get 2 additional antennas, at least in the pack that I did, that are labeled as airband antennas. And I would show you some airband receive. Everybody shows airband receive on their radios. I don't really have an airport that's close enough for me to demonstrate some airband receive, but it does come with these antennas. Now, I will tell you, one of my concerns here is, do not get confused if you have multiple of their antennas. If you notice, this one says, can we get focus on that? This one says TD771 right on the antenna. And then below it, it says 120 and 300 megahertz antenna. Now, let me grab real quick. This is an antenna that came with one of my kits for the TD-H3. And if you'll notice on this antenna, it says model number TD771. So you would think that they might change the model number of the antenna, for one being an airband and one being an amateur radio antenna. So this one that came with the TD-H3 says TD771, and below it, it says 144 and 430 megahertz antenna. This one also says TD771 and says 120 and 300 megahertz antenna. So you just, obviously want to keep an eye on that so that you don't interchange the antennas. They obviously are a little bit different in length, but I just don't understand why they wouldn't come up with maybe just a digit off on the model number. So, but it does come with these 2 airband antennas. Maybe if I get an opportunity, maybe I'll check these antennas on an analyzer and see if they are tuned for that band. But this is what else comes in the 2 radio kit. You get 2 little earpiece headset dealies here. You get the 2 drop-in chargers. Once again, it's got the USB-C on the back, so you can use your little wall plug and USB-C cable that comes with it to either plug directly into the battery, or you can plug into a drop-in charger and then drop the radio in, and you're good to go. So I do like that they give you the option with that. And then you get 2 belt clips and 2 lanyards. So let's move all this aside and discuss what we're all waiting for here. Let's look at these radios and see what they look like on the spectrum analyzer. So let me get the spectrum analyzer up here. All right, 3 radios. We are still using my, which actually seems to be working fine now by keeping the strain off of this connector. I've not had any issues with these attenuators since switching to this methodology. But let's see here. We will start with this radio. All right, we are on 146.5. We'll start right now. I'm just showing standard spectrum analyzer display here. Right now my range is 100 megahertz to 800 megahertz. And I have my bandwidth set to 100 kilohertz. And let's just sort of see what happens when we key up just in general here. Well, we got a nice spike on our fundamental, but I'm sure you're seeing that we had some other spikes show up there too. Not really what we want to see, right? And then we can key up on 443 and see what that looks like. So now what we'll do is let's just go ahead and jump right into harmonics mode. And we will look at 146.5 megahertz. And we'll just look at the first 5 harmonics. And let me see here. So this is 146.5 and we are on high power. Let's let's drop down to low power and see what we have here. So low power. Now there, if you take a look, our second harmonic is 43 dB down from our fundamental, but it's hovering a little bit above that 25 microwatt line. You know, that's so close right there that, you know, maybe you give it a pass, but it is above the 25 microwatt line. And one of my other favorite YouTubers says, you know, there is no close. It's either a pass or fail. So if you want to follow that, it's a fail. But you're seeing about 1 watt out on low power. Let's pop up to high power here and see what it looks like there. And there we're getting about 4.6 watts out. And now that second harmonic is literally right on that line. I would give it a pass on that one there. So right now this radio looks pretty good, but you know, it just depends on what you want to do, and I'll let you guys make the call on that. That one was pretty darn close on low power on that second harmonic. Now let's go to 443 megahertz and see what it looks like here. What is my power set to? Okay, that's high. Let's start on low. And on low power, 443, we're getting 0.6 of a watt out here on low power. And this is going to be something else that we're going to address as you see coming along with these other 2 radios. This radio is putting out 0.6 of a watt on low power. And the harmonics look great here on 70 centimeters. So let's go to high power. On high power on 70 centimeters. Okay, so now we got about 4.8 watts out on high power. That's nice. But you can see, you know, our second, third, and fourth harmonics, excuse me, are definitely more than 40 dB down from the fundamental. But look at that second harmonic on 70 centimeters. It's above the 25 microwatt line. Now, technically speaking, you know, this part of the part 97 doesn't technically apply to the 70 centimeter band, but I like to look at it anyway, and you know, why not make it clean on 70 centimeters as well? So I think that you know, it's probably fine. It's real close to that 25 microwatt line, but it is above it. But like I say, then you get into the questioning of the that part 97 only covers up to 200 and some megahertz. So now let's move on to radio number 2. Welcome. And you can turn that welcome message off if you desire. We'll just drop back down to 2 meters real quick. And low power, 2 meters. Ah, look at this radio. So on low power here, we're only getting about 0.75 watts out on low power. And our second fundamental is not 40 dB down from the fundamental. It's only 36 dB down and is considerably above the 25 microwatt line. So this radio gets a fail just right out of the box. Now we will pop up to high power. And here we can see now we're getting about 4.36 watts out. That second and third harmonics are real close to that 25 microwatt line. They are over 40 dB down here. 50 dB and 54 dB down respectively. So, here that's probably close enough that you could give it a pass. But on low power, it is definitely a fail. So let's switch over here. And we will go to 443. And on 70 centimeters, yeah. On 70 centimeters, on low power, here's what I was talking about. Now, this radio on low power is only putting out 0.2 of a watt, 0.24 watts. The other radio I think was 0.6 of a watt on low. This one's only 0.2 of a watt on low. And if you've seen some other reviews, this seems to be one of the things that I was talking about some of the issues with these radios is they're fluctuating here. There's too much difference from radio to radio. The harmonics look good, but the output power is just really odd. All right, high power on 70 centimeters, 4.7 watts. The high power seems respectable. Harmonics look good as far as being over 40 dB down from the carrier, but if you look at that second harmonic, it is above the 25 microwatt line. Once again, I keep saying it and I repeat myself, but technically, I guess that doesn't need to apply on UHF, but just doesn't look good. So this radio, I would say, obviously is a fail on 2 meters low power, and for whatever odd reason has just only 0.2 of a watt out on 70 centimeters on low power. So let's go to radio number 3. All right, here we are, radio number 3. We will, we'll start off on 70 centimeters. We're already here. So low power, 70 centimeters. Oops, wrong push to talk. All right, so this radio is putting out 0.38 watts on low power. So you get almost 0.4 of a watt out on low power on this radio. Harmonics look great on low power, but you've got really low power. So let's pop it up to high power on 70 centimeters. And on high power, we're getting 5 watts out on this radio. Well, 4.9. But look at the third harmonic now. Once again, more than 40 dB down from the carrier. But why are we getting, a harmonic a little bit above the 25 microwatt line? Just pointing it out. You guys can make your own call on this. We'll switch back now and go to 2 meters. 146.5 megahertz. And all right, low power, 0.95, so almost a watt out on low power. But look at that second harmonic. I think this is the worst radio yet on 2 meters. We're only 27 dB down from our fundamental with this radio. So we're failing on the 40 dB down from the carrier rule, and we're failing by being significantly over the 25 microwatt line. So this radio is a big whopping fail on 2 meters low power. And let's 2 meters high power, only putting out about 3.85 watts. Once again, another discrepancy in output power on these radios. Second harmonic, only 37 dB down from the fundamental, so fail. And look how much over the 25 microwatt line it is, so fail. So this radio fails on 2 meters no matter how you look at it. So, as you guys can tell, my disappointment, this radio literally could be one of the best radios for under $40. I think it still is one of the best radios under $40. I guess the only thing I can say is TIDRadio, please, please, please get the harmonics under control and get the consistency problems under control. I don't know why. I've got 3 radios and all 3 of them act differently. Output power fluctuates, and the harmonics fluctuate from radio to radio. So there's definitely a consistency issue. Everything else on this radio I really, really, really like. So with that, let's head back over to the desk, and we'll finish up. We'll look at the battery and finish up the video. So, obviously a little bit of a disappointment on the spectrum analyzer results on these TD-H3s. I really like this radio. This radio has a lot of potential. It could easily become the go-to radio for a sub $50 or sub $40 radio. My 2-pack, I want to say I got on Amazon for somewhere around $75 for both radios. I'm just disappointed that the consistency seems to be all over the place. And if you watch some of the other reviews out there, the other reviewers are sort of having the same issues. One thing that bothers me is there's a lot of people that are saying, oh, the TD-H3 is the greatest radio ever. And it is a really good radio. And there's some of them that are saying, oh, yeah, it's harmonically clean, but they don't do a test in the video. Of these radios, only one radio is probably really, really on the edge of what I would consider to be a clean radio. The other 2 are obviously not. So real quick, before we wrap up, I just want to show here, I'm going to put up a graphic of, here you can see the battery test that I did. These batteries are labeled as 2500 milliamp hour batteries. And if you can see here, the test showed actually a little bit better than 2500 milliamp hours. This, the battery that I tested out of the group here was, the first test was a 1 amp draw, and at a 1 amp draw, it lasted 156.7 minutes, 2611 milliamp hours, or 18.86 watt hours. The second test is a half amp draw, and comes in almost identically at 2621 milliamp hours, 19.1 watt hours, and the test took 314.6 minutes. Those tests are done with my West Mountain Radio computerized battery analyzer that I have discussed in previous videos. So that being said, these are great radios. And all I can say is, TIDRadio, please just address these issues with some of the harmonics. More so the consistency. There's one radio that is literally right on the edge. It's almost perfect. Still has a few little issues with the harmonics, but could arguably be passable. But then the other 2 are completely not anywhere even close. And what's up with the output power? difference between all the radios. Very, very odd. So, I mean, if you can fix those things, this is, you know, the best, in my book, probably the best handheld radio under $40 right now. So with that, I'm thinking maybe a follow-up video. I might open one of these up, show you guys what's on the inside, and we'll see you in the next one. 7 threes.